Closed captioning for A Piece of the Woods was made possible by Schroeder Log Home Supply, providing for the log builders for 20 years. Underwriting for A Piece of the Woods was brought to you by Tenonizer Technology, 25 years providing the log industry equipment and techniques to simplify perfection. Great Woods Cabinetry, providing custom cabinetry and more to the Twin Cities and now everywhere, from online to on-site. From Minnesota, an online resource for log enthusiasts. And Quality Manufacturing, building quality portable sawmills is in their reputation.
You know, we bring in a lot of wood around here. Most of it's designated purpose. You know, it's got a home to go to. Like this jack pine here, it's going to be going for, the log handrail or log furniture. Very nice stuff, very good springtime wood. But what do you do with the rest of the stuff? That's maybe left over from a stairway or, some of the stuff you see here in our boneyard. Like this white cedar stump here. Now this is a classic. That'd be part of the rest of the story here on today's A Piece of the Woods. Something I'd like you to see in this stump we've got here. Now, it's got rot on it, and this rot was probably caused from a scar that it got, either a fire that burned the bark away, so the sap was exposed, so it began to rot, or a severe rub mark or something like that that scuffed the bark off, so that it began to rot here in the sapwood. But it's got good stuff about it too. This side is real pretty. It's got a real nice flare coming down here. And, it would be easy to look at this and describe, just talk about all the stuff that's wrong with it. But it's not so much what it is. It's what can it be. And I think there's some hope for this thing. I see a hallway table out of this. That's what I see. Maybe we'll come back to this one later. But for now, our primary objective is this little half-log cedar bench here. Now this top was also a scrap from another project. The legs are first, but this is sort of what we're working on today. It's a variation of this, but really close to the same thing. And for our first step, we're going to go into the shop and we're going to start our half-log white cedar bench. Well, we're going to cover our obstacles one at a time. First one, we've got legs that are 10 degrees sloped this way, 10 degrees sloped this way. And with our 12-17 rule, that makes as they come out from the corner, 90 degrees from the corner, the angle is then 14.1. Now we've got to get four holes drilled into the base of our bench, exactly the same at 14.1 degrees. Now, most of you don't have a doctor press, so we're not even going to show you doing it on there. We're going to bypass that and do it with a drill with a bubble level on it, okay? So we'll go to step next on this. What we've got to get next is our work platform that we're going to be drilling the holes on. We've got to get that at 14.1 degrees. So we're setting up our little sawhorse here, got our protractor set, our little leg support here, 14.1 degrees, and we'll fasten that down. So it's good and solid. We've got our other one set up, and then we can put our plywood on the top of it. Now we've got our plywood set with a piece of two 2x2s on here, and they are set 45 degrees, which makes 90 degrees down here in the corner. And this will be to locate our bench top as we drill the holes in it. So we get that set flat, and we'll fasten him down on here. This is what we've got for our bench top. It's a leftover stair tread, but very, very nice. Set that in there. Now we're going to do a 2-step hole. First cut, 3-inch diameter. We're only going to run that in just a little bit. Then we're going to follow it with 2 1/8-inch bit. And the trick to making this work with our 14.1 degree table is the low bubble level on the drill. Drill it plumb, and yet it's in there at 14.1 degrees, okay? Going to center our legs about 6 inches in from the end. And this is where we got to guess a little bit. We're going to put the middle of our bench top right about there. Going to set a leg 2 1/4 inches each side of the center point. The whole width of it is around 10 inches. So that should work out very well. There, we got 4 holes, precisely 14.1 degrees, and then we'll go to our second set. There's all 4 holes, 14.1 degrees, and we have all of them. What are we at? Just strong 2 inches. Yeah, be very watchful that you don't drill the hole right through the other side of the top. That would be not good. Now we got to make some legs for this. Square shoulder tenon. This thing is extremely strong. You have to pull this whole glue joint out to break this loose. It won't break a little bit at a time. It's all at once or nothing. Anyhow, this will be one of the first, and we'll cut the rest of them. Okay, this square shoulder tenon, this is an extremely strong joint. And we get also, when it comes in, it hits this little stop here, and it'll set the depth of it there. And when you cut these, you want to get it so that you can get the part in there. Just get it in there when it's got no glue on it. Just get it in there by hand. So that when we get glue on it, can drive it in with the mallet and have a tremendously strong glue joint. Okay. Have a
Right?
Okay, take a close look at this. See all of the stuff on here, the rough and the dust and dirts and stuff on here. Now watch what happens. Years ago, this place was clear cut all off, except for some of the trees we wanted to leave for the deer and things like that, the Norway pine. But they had the most advanced machinery at the time that they used. They had this big crane kind of thing come along, and it had a processing head on it. And it'd come around, grab the tree, and they go boom, and they would cut the thing off, flip it up on its side. The tree would go boom, 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 back and forth, take all the branches off, and then it'd hold it over on a pile, and the tree would go shoot, shoot through there, 100 inch shoot, shoot, and they cut it off, shoot another 100 inches, shoot, shoot, and they cut it off, pile of wood right there, and here's the branches. And they go, and they drive over the branches to the next tree was gonna, a bunch of trees would cut, go, grab it, snip it off. It was the most amazing process. But now that kind of wood that's been run like that, you can't use that for log furniture, won't work. But for handling wood, it's a great system.
Into the Woods was underwritten by Quality Manufacturing.
There, that is a whole world of difference. Well, we're just going to take and sand and buff the other 3 legs and then assemble it, glue it all together. Good old Elmer's. Don't be afraid to put enough glue in there. Just make sure that the part dry fits in there, that you can put it in there with it dry, because this glue will swell the hole up and make it tighter, tighter, tighter. Other thing you can get away with on this square shoulder tenon stuff is you can actually put glue on the tenon itself, and then when you drive it in there, since it's any glue that gets wiped off will just smear up against the shoulder, but won't come out of the hole. It won't get exposed someplace. Okay, and then you can put the nicest side facing out, of course, where you there, that bottomed out. Bottomed out solid again. That's square shoulder tenon is so nice. There, all 4 legs glued in. Now we just haul it out to the mill and clip them off all perfectly flat. Since you've seen before how you cut the feet flat if you got to do it by hand, we're not going to show you by hand way this time. We're going to do it the way we do, and we have a lot of them to cut. Fast and easy. I'm going to clip them off so that they're 18 inches from the top of the seat down to the floor. Well, now we have a very nice, very beautiful bench that look at it and go, oh, isn't that nice? We want to do something next that'll take, oh, isn't that nice, and change that into, oh, wow, look at that. I think we need to change some of that music. Anyhow, how do you change this bench from being, oh, that's nice, to, oh, wow, look at that? We are going to do some wood burning into this. Now, we have gone to the website, www.woodworker.com, and we have found patterns. And they got patterns that just go on and on and on with patterns of all sorts of things. Just download them and print them. They have been so gracious to put them there for your personal use. But you go through the instructions on there, and you will find, you get a piece of carbon paper, okay, from any place. Piece of carbon paper and a pattern. We're going to use this, let's see, some type of a crane here. And we're going to tape that down, tape this down for my tape. Get my crane on there. Okay. And then we just start tracing. Trace all the major lines and get that down on there. Of course, make sure you got your carbon paper turned with the black side down. And of course, you want to have the carbon paper taped so you can look underneath of it periodically and just make sure you're getting all the lines. You hate to rip it off and find you missed half of something. Him and his long legs on here. Now this woodworker.com, they also sell wood burners and all that. We've got maybe a little bit primitive on the wood burner, but it does okay. They have some very nice fast burners on there. I think I've got it. We are ready to do some very precise burning. You know? I like starting with major straight lines first. And you're gonna get your own habit. Your own habit, as far as how deep of a burn that you put in it. I have a tendency of making a heavier line. Well, like when you're doing feathers or something, you probably want to start at the base of the feather and go to the tip. That seems to work out the best. What about my eyeballs? I can see very well close up without my glasses. Thank you very much. I kind of think maybe the deep lines come from using a carpenter's pencil forever, Writing on a tablet, and somebody takes the tablet and what I wrote shows for about 10 pages down. this would be a really good way to cover it up if somebody, you know, a smoker that happened to leave a cigarette thingy on the table and burn a hole in it. There, I think that's looking pretty good. All the class of a tattoo and none of the pain. But that really spruces up a piece of furniture really quickly without much problem. And you can get real artsy with it. Don't be afraid of it. You know, it's kind of a take control kind of a thing. Just, you know, be artsy, you know. There, get the last of my extra little trace marks off of there. Very nice. We have something else for you today. For today's helpful hint. Oh man, that thing bugs me every time that shows up. Anyhow, we have from an anonymous contributor, we won't mention who, but we have today's helpful hint. Now, if you have a pattern that is printed on, copied on a copier that's using toner, not inkjet, it has to be a copier using toner, okay? Let's get this guy standing straight up and down. And take a little lacquer thinner, not a lot of it, but a little of it. And with the paper and the toner, and then you just wipe it with this. And what we find, let's see how it turned out. No, not quite. The lacquer thinner will dissolve the toner and will transfer the picture to, there it is. Now, other thing, very important. Lacquer thinner, you can cause spontaneous combustion with this. And the way that you would do that, if you want to cause a fire, you don't want to cause a fire. If you took this, wadded it up, stuck it in a garbage can with some other, you know, sawdusty kind of things around, it will self-ignite. Whenever you got these, whenever I have these, I take them outside, I put the cloth outside in the yard someplace where it can dry all by itself. I'm not going to burn anything down, okay? Don't you burn anything down either, okay? Keep your shop in one piece. A shop is priceless. There. Well, that little trick cut about 20 minutes off of me making my bird here. Now let's get this hot stuff out of the way because we're going to clean this up. But I don't have to use sandpaper this time. Get a little bit of my lacquer thinner before I throw this rag out in the bushes outside. And there. Okay. No sandpaper, but all the residue, all the little burning stuff, the little leftover ink that got smeared around. There. Now, look at that. Here is our log bench that has gone through a transformation of, oh, isn't that nice? Wow, look at that, a little bit of wood burning, and look what we've got there. Now, just so you know that your junk pile isn't necessarily junk, you remember that stump that you saw at the beginning of the show? Look at it now. Now, that is some kind of transformation. A little bit of cut here and a tuck there, added the top to it, some wood burning in there. My wife really likes this piece here. It's one of her favorites. So, Thanks for joining us on A Piece of the Woods. You go out and find your own treasure, and we'll see you next time.
There's much more to come and much more to learn next season on A Piece of the Woods as Mike sets out to build a conventional house with logs in mind. Log accenting and give you an old-fashioned frontier feeling without the huge expense and upkeep of a log house. So keep watching as Mike and Josh show you ways to take a piece of the woods into your home. For a copy of this episode or for questions and information, go to www.apieceofthewoods.com.
Closed captioning for A Piece of the Woods was made possible by Shorter Log Home Supply, providing for the log builders for 20 years. Underwriting for A Piece of the Woods was brought to you by Tenonizer Technology, 25 years providing the log industry equipment and techniques to simplify perfection. Great Woods Cabinetry, providing custom cabinetry and more to the Twin Cities and now everywhere, from online to on-site. From Minnesota, an online resource for log enthusiasts. And Quality Manufacturing, building quality portable sawmills is in their reputation.